Hi guys, welcome to TXC Tells All. This week we're going to have a special guest, or special guest actually, for our new session. And I'm going to let them introduce themselves, the talented and beautiful women who are my colleagues, and then we're going to get into what you came in for today. So, ladies, one of you guys go first. Tell me your name, where you're from, and your level of degree.
All right. Hi, I'm Geneva from New Jersey, and I
Jersey.
have a hello, and I have an MA in human behavior and organizational psychology.
Okay, so that's a master's degree. Okay. And our next guest.
Hi, I'm Tiffany. I'm from New York. I have a bachelor's degree in political science and a Juris Doctorate, which is a law degree.
Okay, all right, ladies. And then for those of you who are new to the channel, I'm Larita. I'm also a lawyer. And go ahead.
Hey y'all, I'm Tracy. I'm from New York and I have a JD as well. I'm a lawyer.
Oh yeah, I'm from New Jersey originally, but Tracy and I are in Houston, Texas. We're in
I was
Plano,
about to say, you
Georgia.
Texas.
Right.
But we
We live
still
there. We
claim
live there.
other places. Yes, yes.
You left
So
us.
we're East Coast originally, but now we're residing in the Midwest. I guess what they call it. So this week we're going to talk about a juicy topic. I know it's probably been popular on social media about dating and dating for professionals and how it looks like. And we've been seeing it from different perspectives. So I'm glad that you ladies came to join us today because we're going to get it from the woman's perspective and kind of see what you guys think about the dating scene as a professional woman, which I'm very proud that, we've achieved a certain level of success, but just to get your perspective. So before we get into the actual questions, I'm going to read you a quick little excerpt from the Washington Post article, and we're going to kind of see what starts from there. So give me 1 second. And this is from a Washington Post. I can't remember what it is. I'll link it below in the description box, but it's a Washington Post article. So it starts off as I drove up to the garage of the Ronald Reagan building for an evening event. I locked eyes with a handsome security guard. Good morning, he said. It's evening, I said with a smile. I found comfort in the nervousness that caused this slip up. It mirrored my own. They ended up exchanging numbers. She told him her name was Selena and his name is Greg. Greg holds an associate's degree and Selena holds a master's degree. She says, I didn't think that I'd be open to dating someone with less education, but I found my compatible marriage-minded partner in Greg. He has challenged my personal biases, which led me to associate educational attainment with socioeconomic achievement and intellectual ability. When I drove into that garage, I chose to prioritize compatible characteristics over social status and found a new entryway into dating. So, this is Selena. And as she says, she has her master's degree and she was talking to Greg with an associate's degree. What do you guys think about it? Do you think that just knowing only that information, do you think that their relationship is going to work?
I mean, why not? All right. It depends. I mean, it shouldn't be a problem, especially if he's open to learning more or wanting more or doing more, and they're building that together. But as far as you just where you are and you're good and you're comfortable and you're complacent, and she's not in that spot to be complacent, is not going to work. But if he's open, then they can build together.
Yeah.
Okay.
Little Girls, that's the Tyler Perry movie. And Idris Elba, he was a mechanic, she was a lawyer.
Right.
They made it work, even though she had reservations because he had a criminal history. But other than that, at the end, they was together. And I think what that lesson is that even though he was a mechanic and maybe not have been as educated as her, he did have motivation and did have a business. So I think at the end of the day, you could have a master's, a JD, a BA, whatever you have, but if you lack motivation and strive to be better, then you're not going to work with me and you're not going to work with a lot of women that are educated, because that's what drives our education. Because we could have BAs and JD and do nothing, but we work
right.
and our degrees help us work harder. But if you have no motivation, then there's not much we could do.
Yeah, and I think it goes to like the piece of education versus intelligence, right? Like some people, they don't do formal education, but they're still intelligent people. They're still motivated people. They own businesses. I mean, you know, I'm sure we all met people who own their own successful businesses that don't even have a college degree.
Education,
so, yeah, sometimes, you know, it just depends on that.
That's a good point. That's a good point. I think at Tiffany, you talk about this Tyler Perry movie. Life is not a movie though. Sometimes it just ain't gonna work. But I remember that movie. I mean, I guess if I was dating Idris Elba in real life, I would make it work too. I mean, you know, but that's not always the case. So that's not always the case. So I guess to throw a little wrench in the plan. So he works as a security guard right now in that little scenario I gave you. He works as a security guard. I didn't say what she did. She holds her master's degree. Does it make a difference if a man was less educated than you but made more money than you? So would it make a difference in your mind? Like, okay, he's not as educated as I am, but he, you know, can provide. Does that change?
But he pulls his weight somewhere else, so it's a balance. He pulled his weight here. He didn't have it here.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm thinking about part of the things that attract me to a man is the intellectual. Like, so you could be making a lot of money, but can I have a conversation with you? Like a dream, because I haven't experienced this. But can I talk to you? Can we have conversation?
Right.
If they don't really know what's going on in the world, then that doesn't help me either. So
what did Geneva say? What's your thing that you say, Geneva, sometimes? Like, can they read out loud?
Can you read out loud? Can you read out loud? Because if not, I need you to.
Tracy, what do you have? I know we were talking about kind of some questions we can use to jump off the conversation. What do you got for the ladies?
All right, y'all. So let's talk about a little differences. So would it make a difference to you if you were just dating for fun and you met somebody who maybe had a lower education level than you versus like looking to marry someone? Does it make a difference? So do you look for certain things when you're just dating to have a good time, but you know, this may not go all the way to marriage? Or if you're really looking for somebody with the mindset that this might be a marriage partner, do you have a different outlook on education level?
Yes.
What was that, Lori? What was that?
Well, I'm too I'm too old to be dating for fun at this point. But when I was,
that's real.
I need a husband, okay? But when I was, I mean, if you a good time, you a good time. You know, you like to dance, I like to dance. Let's go dance. Right. But then you my friend, so like I can't be dating a dumb dummy. So like, but when it comes to but I mean, like I was saying, if you a good time, I love having a good time. Let's go have some fun, whatever. But right now, we're gonna have a good time, but you gotta be on the same wavelength
with the mindset, like tunnel vision. We here for a purpose. I think that's true because even as you were younger, like dating in college, you dated for fun. Like everybody's at the same level. We all trying to get our undergraduate degree. So I feel like I've dated some people that were in college and people that weren't interested in college, but it was all for fun. I don't think I had that I want to get married hat on when I was like, you know, dating them. It was just like, let's have fun. And then it turned to like, okay, now I still want to have fun, but what we try to build together. What you trying to do? And so I think it changed like how I viewed them. And I don't think it's elitist. I think it's just a preference. Like, okay. And I've dated both, I guess, blue collar workers, what they say, mixed collar dating, blue collar workers and white collar workers. And I don't think that I've only dated one of the kind. I do notice though, being in the DC area where it's a lot more white collar workers, and they think very highly of themselves. So I'm like, well, And then the blue collar
Yes.
workers, I feel like sometimes they're intimidated by someone who has more experience than them as far as education wise. So it's like, what do you end up? Because one side feels intimidated, other side feels like they too big for their own britches. So I don't know.
That's
what
been
y'all
my
think?
life, and I just changed 2 years ago, so I can't talk about. I just realized 2 years ago I need to think differently. So
Yeah, I guess there's no right way, but I don't know. I ran into problems either way. They got problems.
So what about, so for y'all,
Right.
okay,
I
so
mean,
that was kind go ahead, Geneva.
you're gonna have characters in whatever category. So,
Yeah, that's true.
That's
like
true.
you said, it's preference.
That's
Right.
true.
Right.
All right,
Yeah.
so that was talking about education. So let's say from, looking to date someone who may potentially be a marriage partner, what qualities do y'all look for in a man?
Mm.
Let's see top three.
Okay, because I can give you a list now.
I know, I'm like, we don't got that kind of time, but top three.
Lord Jesus.
All right, let me see
I would
if I can start. All right, for me, I would say like somebody who's motivated, who has a plan separate and apart from me is really important, because I feel like you need to have kind of not know who you are, because I think we're all growing and developing, but you need to be motivated,
Right.
not just in our relationship. Like, these were things I want to accomplish, whether we stay together or not, because I think that kind of motivation helps the relationship move forward as far as looking at somebody who I might want to spend the rest of my life with. Being funny is really important to me. I know it's kind of like basic, but I need us to be able to laugh together. Life is hard enough, and I need us to be able to laugh together. Stuff happens, and I feel like, humor is necessary. So that's important to me, a man who can.
That's how you get in trouble. The humor is what gets you in trouble.
Right.
Yeah, but it also makes the heart, makes the heart warm. I need to be able to laugh. You can't be all serious all the time. I can't do that.
Yeah, you're right about that.
What's the third one? I guess. I mean, honesty is important. I think that's always a basic one. I need to be able to trust you, because if I can't trust you, we can't do this thing like together. So
Yeah.
I think that
Right,
would
right.
be top three for me. I could give a list too, but that's top three. All right, who's next?
I would say maturity. I need you to be of age. Do what grown men do, and that includes like motivation, take care of your business, having goals. Like, I'm not saying like a package, but you should already be established in yourself. Like, I'm not looking to build somebody up from the ground. I'm willing to help you, but I can't sit there and have you telling me you want to go get your GED. I can't do that. I would say honesty and being upfront. That's important. And I would say respect. Respecting the relationship, respecting me, respecting yourself. I think if you respect the situation, you would treat it better.
Based on previous relationships, you realize what you don't want. It's like, okay, I didn't know that was a thing that I didn't want, but thanks for letting me add that to the list. Like, I don't want
Honesty. I think everybody, when it comes to a relationship, everyone is looking for honesty, right? But what a lot of people misconstrue with honesty is, let me be careless all my life and irresponsible, and I'll just tell you because I'm open and honest. So now I'm looking at you like, so you thought doing that dumb stuff all throughout life was okay, and that made sense to you. So
so you're questioning their intelligence because they have mistakes.
I mean, you can make mistakes. Like, life, you're gonna make mistakes. You're gonna go through things. You're gonna learn from them. But when you're 30, 40, and you're still doing what you was doing in your teenage years and in your 20s, and you was like, well, I'm telling you because I'm honest. I'm being honest with you.
I see.
Like, well, if you thought being dumb is okay with you telling me that you're honest, then that's a problem for me. Okay. Like, I need you to grow up. I need you to grow up. Let's make better decisions. Let's be a better person. Let's do better. That way, when you do tell me something that's truthful and open, I'm like, oh, okay. And what did you learn from that? So you'll never do it again. But obviously, if you're telling me stuff that you're doing back in the day and you're doing it still, and I'm like, oh, okay, so you're just reckless, and I don't want to deal with anybody being reckless.
So you want them to make new mistakes. Don't make the same mistakes. Make some new ones.
I mean, let's try not to make too many mistakes. How about that one? How about that? I mean, as you get older, you know better, you're doing better. We're learning different things. We're learning every day. So like, we should pretty much be at a point where, especially when your 30s, mid 30s, pushing 40. I mean, we're pretty much at a point where, okay, life is serious. Let me take it serious. You know, let me do right by myself. Let me just do right.
Okay.
Oh,
that's true. But, that's true.
You know, I've had conversations, you know, with guys that's just friends, and you know, they say, you know, a lot of, you know, women, you know, blanket statement, of course, women, all women, like they've encountered all women. But anyway, so they're like, you know, women say they want an honest man, but they can't handle an honest man, and it's kind of like, no, that was done what you did though. It's not that they can't handle an honest man, they just can't handle a reckless man. So let's just be better.
That's true. That's true.
I try to tell my friends that, you know, they don't want to hear it because you know.
You're speaking the truth to them?
They just don't want to hear it. But
they don't want to hear it because they being reckless.
Right. I want to be reckless, and I'm going to be honest about it. How about that? And it's like, no, that doesn't cut it.
I think,
but my top three, back to my top three.
Okay, yeah.
Honesty, of course, honesty. Honesty and honesty. But
all three. You got other requirements, obviously.
Obviously, right. But I need somebody who's gonna be very supportive, because timing is not my I'm not good with timing, because when I'm locked in on something, I have tunnel vision and I'm locked in on it. So it's kind of like, oh, I got a relationship. Wait, hold on, let me finish this. And then I get back to you. So I have to work on that.
Okay. Well, that's good self-reflection. That's true. Okay, let's segue to the next thing. Have you guys heard about Kevin Samuels? He does like a call-in show where like mostly women call in to get advice from him about like their lives. Have you guys heard? It was like,
he went viral, y'all. I'm sure you've seen it somewhere, shade room, something.
I didn't know his name until Larita told me.
Oh, okay.
But so I did see the video. Someone sent me the video, yeah.
So basically he's giving like advice from a man's perspective about relationships and what he finds women are doing wrong. And so he made a statement that a young lady called in and she said she wanted to date a high value man. And a high value man, as he defines it, is someone who makes six figures and is very successful, doesn't usually have any children. He's basically very marketable. So she wanted to date a high value man, and she was in her mid 30s. She had a kid. I don't know if she had an advanced degree, but she made over six figures. And he was basically telling her that guys don't really care about a woman's education level. Like they just want some eye candy. They couldn't care less if you had a master's degree, a law degree, a PhD. They want somebody they can have on their shoulders. So do you agree? I guess this is from a woman's perspective, obviously, but this is from a man's perspective, him saying that guys don't really care about our degrees. What do you guys think about that?
Maybe he doesn't. I mean, I think it depends on the guy too. It depends on the guy too, because I was talking to a friend of mine, and he's educated, he's a good looking guy, and he had his opinion about dating good looking girls and some not being as smart. And he's like, some things he just can't put up with. So like someone said earlier about, can you hold the conversation? Tiffany, was that you? I think it was you. Can you hold the conversation? Can we go back and forth? I mean, because I can't look at you all day, because it's like, okay.
Don't say nothing. Just
right. Just don't speak. Don't
like
speak.
just be quiet. Just be quiet.
Just look pretty.
But maybe I did see that video. I think it was a little much. I think she was over the top with what she was requesting too, as well. But I think he just tried to give it to her just a little too much. His pride might have been hurt because he didn't meet those requirements that she's looking for. So it's kind of like, well, I'm gonna stick it to you how you sticking it to me, but he's not gonna say that, of course.
I think he likes to come with facts. Like, he likes to come with statistics, and he's like, women like to talk about feelings. I feel like it shouldn't be this way. He's like, it's not about feelings. This is how it is. So do you think like women, like, are we ignoring the fact that like guys are, because basically he was saying like, okay, when you see these high value men, they're usually with like eye candy, unless they've been with the girl from like high school back in the day. Then they could be like average. Mm-hmm. Otherwise, he's like, they're looking for eye candy. Like, that's what they're looking for. They don't care about your degree. So,
well, I mean, I've seen average women with work done to their body. So I don't think it matters anymore. I think it's whoever's open and available, honestly.
And I think it depends on what you're looking for. Like, I always have this kind of scenario, like, the taxis, well, maybe y'all know from New York, the taxis have their light on the medallion, they don't have a passenger or whatever. And I feel like guys can be the same way. Like, they can at one point in their life not have their light on, they just looking for eye candy, blah, blah, blah. But once they click that light on, they're looking for certain things. They're looking for somebody they're attracted to. I don't think anybody wants to be with somebody they're not attracted to. But all of a sudden, the girls who may have not been as smart, may not have, had their life together, but were cute or fine or however you want to put it. Now they got their light on, they looking for somebody to spend their life with. They're not looking for that anymore. They're looking for somebody who has the other things. So I just think, it kind of depends on what time you catch men or women, because women can do the same thing. I think it depends on what time you catch somebody in their life. At one point, they may be looking for one thing, and that's cool. That's fine. They're having a good time. And you meet them 2 years later, and they like, oh, yeah, I don't talk to girls like that no more. I need a little bit more. So.
But then again, it's like they can say that, but are you ready for that? You can have a conversation all day. This is what I want. This is what I'm looking for. You are everything. You are a unicorn. And then, boom, reality hit. And it's like, I can't handle this woman. I can't handle this. I'm not ready for this.
You can't. So that kind of
does education level matter in a relationship? So let me ask y'all this. Have y'all ever had a relationship where you did date a man that had less education than you, and you had trouble in the relationship, and you think that was related to the issues that you had? So the fact that man was less educated than you gave it a shot, you had the relationship, and you felt like the issues that you had in the relationship were somewhat or in some way related to that. Has anybody had that experience? Why are you laughing, Tiffany? Why are you laughing?
She raised her hand.
Tiffany put her hand up. Go ahead, Tiffany. Go ahead.
Yes, please.
Yes. Many of my relationships that I chose to explore, it came down to him not being able to achieve certain things or fast enough, or feeling like he's less of a man because I'm doing more than him or I'm working harder than him. So yes, it became a big problem to the point of like disrespectful, like, you think you better than me. They when a man feels less of a man, they become disrespectful, become volatile. They just become a whole different person. And a couple of guys that I dated in the past, now they'll talk to me and be like, I'm sorry, I did that to you when I was with you. I wasn't happy with myself and my achievements and where I was, but now I'm in a better place. Let's try again. And I'm like, FOH, get out of here. But in a relationship, I thought it was my fault that I was like causing the problem, because here I am different and doing more than him, and he's trying to catch up. So playing that catch-up game with someone, that could cause a lot of problems.
Do you think that certain people, like, okay, you achieved a certain level of educational success, do you think that you attract certain people? Because I feel like I guess it depends on their personality too. So like some people attract projects, like, oh, I need a project, I'm gonna get them all mixed up and ready for the next lady. Or are you attracting those people that like mirror your educational level of success? Like, I guess it probably could depend on the kind of person you are, like whether you want a project, or like Geneva always jokes about some of my exes, like she cleaned them up real good because when they came to her. And now, I mean, not that, I mean, certain people have, I guess, I joke that some people with their portfolio of exes is very attractive. Like you have some nice, pretty nice exes, and then like mine, I'm like, some of them like, no, not they weren't that attractive. What was I doing? Well, not attractive as far as how they look, but attractive as far as on paper, like they weren't the total package. Some of them were basically, oh yeah, I'm willing to work with you. I'm willing to work with you. Other ones were already finished, but then they still had something that, wasn't desirable. So just because you got a finished product doesn't always guarantee that it's going to be successful in the long term. So I don't know. I guess it depends on the personality whether you want to, what is it? Not mother them, but like really help them grow. So I'm willing to work with you.
I think my attraction to men when I was younger was like, he can make me laugh. He's funny. We could go do great things together and go travel and, the whole having a job and education that comes after it. But if you make me feel good and you make me feel nice and, that's all I cared about. Like, that feeling. Like, I got that feeling. But then afterwards, I'm like, okay, I got to help you, like, pass your test. I got to help you apply for this job.
Right.
And I'm like, okay, you're a project, but I like
I gotta help you read. No, I'm like,
stop that.
So I think that's the basis that as you mature as a woman, you might like that eye candy. You like that guy that's like tough, or he just got a good like swag, and but then you're like, like that's not gonna pay my bills. Help me. We're not gonna get married. So as you mature, I think you start saying I have to like be attracted to someone that like is better. Like, so I think that comes with maturity as a female too.
Yeah, I agree.
All right, so
I have to go off of personality when it come to meeting somebody, because ain't nobody that fond of me. Sorry, nobody. Like, I've come across, you a good looking guy, but I'm not googly eyed over no man. Like, I've never been that, never been that way. Unless it's plies. But anyway,
Oh Jesus, you done dated yourself.
But
so
but
yeah,
you said, I think it depends on your personality too. If you're like a nurturer, you'll attract people like that, people that's gonna I guess look for someone to help them, so to say, or they're looking for not so much they mom, they probably are looking for their mother, but someone that's going to help them along, give them that push. And you have some people like that even though they're not where they want to be right then and there, they probably just need that support system. Like, okay, she's going to push me, or I see her doing this, and that's motivating me to do more.
Right.
So you have people that they just probably just lagging a little behind, but they'll get there eventually. Some, not all, but they'll get there eventually.
That's true. So I guess the traditional way back in the day, like you meet somebody, you go out, you figure out you like them. Nowadays, I guess online dating is the popular thing, and then you can kind of filter what you want to look for. I know, Tracy, tell us a little bit about it. A little bit more about the online dating. It was successful for you.
I did the online dating thing. Me and my husband met on Tinder. So I think I just did Tinder. But anyway, I want to talk about the League, because the League, have y'all heard of that? It is a online dating app similar to Tinder. You swipe left, you swipe right. But in order to be on the platform, you have to link your Facebook and LinkedIn profiles, and then somebody from the League kind of sifts through that and sees what your education level is, your professional background, and they have to approve you to be on the League. And they do that to kind of filter out. They want people who are highly educated. They want people who have secure professional backgrounds. And if you don't get approved through there, you link your Facebook and your LinkedIn. If they don't see, that you meet that criteria, you won't even be able to engage, swipe right, swipe left, do anything like that. So a lot of professional people are kind of liking that now, because they say, okay, if I'm looking for somebody who's kind of on the same level than me and I'm using online dating, it's like somebody else is kind of doing some of the work for me. And I know these pool of people are at least have a bachelor's, at least have, professional jobs that they've had in the past. But there was actually an article by Business Week Bloomberg that was saying it's really elitist for a couple reasons. Because of that, because you can kind of weed out blue collar workers because of the degrees sometimes, and then also you can filter race. So they were saying, you know, that's really elitist, and they were kind of criticizing it. So what do y'all think? Do y'all like that idea? Have y'all ever used the app? What do y'all think about online dating? All of that.
Did the league and it was a fail. Fail.
Why was it a fail? Why was
it took like a month for me to be accepted that I'm on there. And I'm trying to like find guys. There's not many Black men on there, and that's my preference. And it seemed like a disconnect. Like it wasn't much conversation. It just didn't seem like a real app. Like there was real people, and I just deleted it. So,
how long were you on there?
Probably like 2 months.
Okay, that's not long. All right. Well, I didn't do that.
I guess but you have to know about it too. So like you see these nowadays, you see these professional matchmaker things because professionals don't want to do the standard apps, and they got these professionals matchmakers to help like make the game go a little faster. So it's like, okay, that can help. But if I didn't know about the league, then maybe my future person don't know about the league neither, and we ain't gonna connect because nobody knows about it. So you gotta know about it. Versus like, oh, it's almost like somebody's like, you're not gonna meet somebody in your house. You are if you're on the app, right? But then when you go out into the world, it depends on what kind of like places you're gonna meet somebody. If you go to the club, you're gonna meet some professionals at the club, but they like to let their hair down every now and then. But if you go to these other kind of meetings where you like the Congressional Black Caucus kind of events, of course you're gonna meet a certain caliber of people because they like the average person ain't gonna be at a CBC event. Like so then you wonder why like, oh, I met somebody at such and such and it didn't work. Like, okay, it didn't work because let's be real. The people that you want to actually see a future with, you gotta kind of run in those same kind of circles as those people, and then the likelihood of success, I feel like, will be greater because you're putting yourself out there, and they're putting their stuff out there as well. But to answer your question, no, I haven't been in that.
I haven't. Well, I never heard of the league. I never. I never tried online dating. So I have friends who did try it, and I heard stories, and I'm like, oh, I'm good. I mean, Facebook is the best you're gonna get out of me. Like,
but Facebook used to be like limited to college people because you had to have a college.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
When it first started, so it's almost like it filtered out who you going, and then it like opened up to everybody. So now everybody and their mama literally has Facebook, but that kind of was a way of limiting.
Yeah, I mean, I thought about if it doesn't have a commercial, I don't know, like farmersonly.com. I heard about that. So I was like, maybe I need a farmer. Maybe I got to do something different. Like don't judge me. Not judge me. I need this hand.
Okay.
Occupied. Okay.
Yeah, I don't know why the league doesn't do more advertising, but I never heard. I heard of it from a coworker. But Tinder, I don't know if Tinder had commercials, but I feel like Tinder was real popular. We met back in 2014, and it was real popular back then. And I was like, I'm always at work. I work with these six people, and I couldn't figure out how I was going to really meet somebody for real, a Black man especially, because that's my preference, when that's not who I see on a regular basis in my in my work setting. So I was like, I'm gonna need online. I need some assistance. The online dating was assistance for me. And I think people, even though it's not the league, I still, my husband's profile is be like, you had on there, he had law student 6'8". That's all I needed. Like, yeah, that's it. Law student. I mean, he was a student though. He was a student, but I was like, you a law student now. Right. That means hopefully you're gonna be a lawyer pretty soon, and you 6'8". I like to talk.
But that 6'8" came first, huh?
That's all I needed. That's all I needed. But I feel like people do that. People do that on Tinder anyway. Like the profiles, they put up what they think is appealing, whether they might be like finance professional or whatever. So it's almost like they're doing it themselves on Tinder or whatever other apps. The league just kind of does a filtration process, but I feel like people do it themselves on the other dating apps anyway. They put up, in their initial profile what they think is going to be appealing to women.
Right,
the type
like
of women that
your representative, like you gonna date their representative for 6 months, and then you gonna find out who they really are. You're like,
that's a whole nother YouTube video.
I know, right? I know.
Right.
I'm on Black, right? That's a dating app, and I just matched with this guy while I was on here. His profile says where the money resides.
That's who you compatible with the money resides.
Okay. That's who caught my attention.
See, that's what I'm saying. Well,
let me see his Black. Let me see what he.
Who are you attracting? Who are you attracting?
What's the name of that app?
It's called Black, BLK.
Oh.
So pictures of them in suits. I look at them in professional attire. That's how I weed it out. Like if you got your underwear showing and your hat to the back, that's not who I like anymore. I need to move on.
You look like I evolved too. Like I'm like in high school, I'm like I used to be attracted to thugs. I think I kind of low key am like if you a corporate thug, I don't know. You gotta have some swag.
Okay. Balance.
Like yeah, you can you can handle business if necessary, but you also you handle your business. You can lay a suit. I like a nice suit, nice tailored suit. So we've all evolved. I think it, it just depends. I don't think of course, there's no right or wrong answer because you see all kind of different kind of couples like mixed collar dating. It works. So it's not necessarily just because of the education, but I just wanted to kind of get you guys' opinion on it. We wanted to see a quick myth or truth, Tracy. You want to kind of do a little myth or truth before we end this little thing to see kind of what people feel about this kind of
all
thing.
right, y'all. So myth or truth. If you're in a relationship with someone less educated or less intelligent than you, it will be a struggle to communicate effectively.
True.
You said what? Truth?
You said truth? It's myth or truth, right?
Myth or truth?
Oh, true.
Okay. Geneva?
Yeah, I feel like you have to learn problem solving and comprehension. that all plays a role in your communication.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Okay. I think though too, like I have some communication skills which I'm currently working on, and just because I'm educated sister, I think it doesn't necessarily equate to always because some things are learned behaviors. Like if you grew up in a certain kind of household and you didn't effectively communicate, you're gonna bring that into your adult life until you correct that as an adult. Right. So I mean, I could be educated and still don't know how to communicate properly. Like, so I'm still working on. I'm a work in progress. I guess self-reflection is important, but yeah, it does. You're coming from two different backgrounds, and it doesn't even have to be like educational background. Just be two different households, and they communicate. Somebody might yell a lot, in other household like they don't talk about nothing. So like that's gonna clash. So I mean, whether you got education or not, it's gonna clash. So I guess it could be.
All right. So one more myth or truth. If I went to college and you didn't, we have less in common.
Myth.
Truth.
I say myth, but
no.
The fact that I went to college and you didn't, we don't have that in common. That's just like.
But that's only one thing. We both.
Well, yeah,
that's only one thing.
It says less in common. They don't say everything. So the fact that I went and you didn't means we automatically have less in common. Truth.
I know some people who didn't go to college, but they was on the college campus with us now, weren't they, Tiffany? They went to college. As far as they're concerned,
they wasn't in college. They was in college.
They got the experience. They could talk with you.
Did you matriculate? Did you matriculate to college?
Right. Me and Tiffany went to school together. We know some of those. Like,
I have some of them, child.
Yep.
They went this whole time. My 4 years there, I'm thinking they went there. I'm like, you ain't graduated yet. Like, go to find out they was there the 4 years before that.
Right.
Like you still here.
They here for it. They here for it. I mean, yeah.
You might have everything in common with that one except the piece of paper. So
right, that's true.
So they were at college, just not in college.
Right. Exactly. Well, we thank you guys for joining us this week on TXC Tells All. It was fun having to dig into the minds of Black educated women. I'm proud of all of us for achieving a certain level of academic success and hopefully personal successes as well in the future. So thank you for joining us, Geneva and Tiffany. And we're going to definitely have a part 2 of this because this is going to prompt all kind of opinions. So I'm glad you guys are open enough to share how you really felt. So we'll have a part 2, but thank you for joining us for part 1 of Would You Date Someone with Less Education Than You?
Thank y'all.